I'm also going to start the recording again. So welcome to this session once again. I think this is my fourth session and probably the last session on the BD track. So thanks for putting up with me, guys. So the agenda for today is the program in details. We're going to talk about the USP, and then we're going to basically have ideas and sort of practice how we can sell a semi-remote feature to our partners. So generally, the concept behind semi-remote feature came because of the whole COVID pandemic. So something that is one of the most beautiful things about ISEC as an organization is that it's very flexible and it's very adaptable. If you consider when it was established in 1948, and since then it has seen a lot of conflict, it has seen a lot of crisis, it has seen the world going up in flames, it has seen epidemics, it has seen a lot of things. And even then, ISEC still as an organization persists, and it still is an organization that transcends everything, and it still continues to work, and it still continues to flourish and develop and make people go through leadership experiences, right? And considering the whole COVID situation, obviously ISEC as an organization as a whole faced another crisis and another conflict. What gave that conflict the most tough time, I would say the toughest time in essence, was the mobility. So because of the pandemic, we had travel restrictions, we had lockdowns, we had visa issues, we had safety issues, we had health issues, we had a lot of restrictions. And that those restrictions essentially translated to our global talent and global teacher opportunities as well. So essentially all of our exchange opportunities were being either shut down or paused or on hold for the term. And considering that global talent is one of our core experiences, it is one of our core products, mobility was something that was really, really needed for global talent. And by mobility, we mean the ability for individuals to travel for global talent to another country, right? So to another region, to another country, and go and live that experience themselves. However, considering the pandemic, that mobility was very, very restricted, and the value that we gave to our partners was also very limited. So, what we came up with was an idea on having remote or semi remote internships, giving people the whole work from home experience with partners outside of the country. So, with Global Talent and Global Teacher came the idea of semi remote internships. And semi remote global talent refers basically to starting the experience from home, starting the experience remotely, and then eventually ending it in a realization. So, half of the experience is something you do where you're living. So, remotely, you live half of the experience, and then half of the experience you live in the actual country. And so, in case of travel restrictions or delays, the semi remote feature can be applied to start the experience before the exchange participant travels the country or territory of the ISIC host entity. So, the remote feature can only be applied to global talent and teacher programs. And like I said, it's part of that program that you do half of your internship or half of your opportunity remotely and then half of it physically when your realization happens. And so, why are we going with semi remote and not fully remote? So, a lot of organizations at this point are completely focusing on having work from home as a culture, and they're shifting everything online. However, for ISEC, the most basic thing and the core foundation of what we do is give leadership experiences to youth, and we give those leadership experiences through practical environment and through practical challenges, and we challenge them in settings that are different from their own, right? So part of why we kept it semi remote and not fully remote was because we wanted people to, even if they're working on an internship remotely for half of the term, we still wanted people to be able to go abroad, go for these opportunities, and live that experience the way it is supposed to be lived and the way it is designed to be lived, instead of just being confined to their home and just doing a simple internship. The core foundation of why we have these opportunities is because we want people to go through these experiences as a whole and as individuals. So, providing a cross cultural environment, as it says, becomes very challenging if we are to offer a fully remote internship. So, let's say we offer a fully remote internship. What is that individual going to do? They're going to stay at home and just work on it, right? They're not going to be challenged in a different environment. They're not going to be challenged in something unfamiliar. They're not going to be placed in situations that are going to make them grow. So, to keep this unique value for young people, we would like to keep the physical appearance presence part of our global talent opportunities, and that is how the semi-remote internships came as a concept. So the conditions of the semi-remote internships are fairly very simple. So the total duration needs to be minimum 3 months, right? So the total duration of global talent or teacher opportunities needs to be at the very least 3 months, and only half of it can be remote or less. So the main criteria for having a remote internship is that the remote phase can only be half of the total duration or less than it. It can only be extended if obviously the travel restrictions are still there and visa or work permits have not been granted, only on these two conditions. If these two conditions are met, like the borders are open, visa has been given, the remote internship cannot be extended the half duration of the actual opportunity. So the opportunity provider obviously needs to agree if they want to make a full remote phase, and obviously the individual who's availing that opportunity needs to be paid the salary as well, even for the remote part of the internship. However, how we support that experience through considering that when we talk about global talent or global teacher opportunities or generally any exchange opportunity, we facilitate the individual as much as possible. We facilitate the EPs as much as possible. So something that we're doing as part of the remote experience is having first day of remote work and remote preparation seminars. So instead of them having to go to the workplace and have their first day of work physically, we're hosting virtual spaces to support the interns and make sure that they experience the entire process smoothly and they go through that experience themselves. And of course, we're also having remote preparation seminars, which will help basically interns on board what they're doing in the work and what are their responsibilities, what are the responsibilities on the hosting entities, and connect the intern with other remote interns if applicable. So this is just sort of like how we have preparation seminars physically. We're just shifting them to an online space to facilitate as much as possible. The question arises, so this is generally what semi-remote internships are, semi-remote global talent and teacher program is. However, the question that comes in for you guys to discuss and to have um, sort of an understanding of what's happening is understand what the opportunities are that comes with this entire program and this entire process, right? So the question I ask you guys is, which are the extra opportunities that come along with it? What challenges could company have, and why should a company use the semi-remote feature? So I want you guys to have this discussion that if you want to pitch a company to, let's say, you want to pitch a company a semi-remote internship, or you want to raise a semi-remote internship opportunity, what challenges could that company have? And what are the extra opportunities you can present to them? So we're going to discuss that. Take a second, think about it, and then you guys can tell me what you um, have answers to all of these. So whoever wants to go first can simply unmute themselves and we can begin. So since we're a very small bunch, so I'm not going to put us in breakout rooms. I think we can have the discussion here as well. Anybody who wants to start can start.
I think I can answer the second question. Which challenges could companies have? I think, for example, in Malaysia, right? Most of the company they are still not get used to semi-remote, especially the remote part, because most of their internship program or even like management training or graduate training program, they are more towards like physical. So they do not know how much extent is the scheme they should develop for the remote part, and they also not get used to how to actually track uh, the trainee in terms of like the internship period as well. So they are not get used to it, so they are not applying this in their company as well. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I think that could be a potential challenge when it comes to raising remote internship opportunities because companies may not be willing to have remote internships, right? What do you guys think? What are the opportunities we have when it comes to remote internships? Jika, are you saying something? Because I think your mic is
Oh, no,
muted.
no, no. No, no, no. I
Okay.
had to reply to a partner. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I thought you were saying something. What do you guys think? So, what are the opportunities that come with having a remote internship?
Okay, I'll just try to contribute because I feel bad.
No, no, no.
Um,
It's okay.
I guess for me, well, companies might think like we should do budget costs or lay low. I think companies should realize that if they do lay low, they remove themselves out of sight from potential customers. So we have to paint this as an opportunity for them to stay in the radar or to still be visible within the people that they want to reach. So I think that's still an opportunity, even if it's not completely what they want. So yeah, I just see it that way.
Perfect. I think it's very important for us to realize that even and for us to make the companies realize as well that even if they're not operating in a normal circumstance, that everything is not normal the way it's supposed to be, there are still opportunities that they can avail. And there are still opportunities that can benefit them. So I think the one part would be making companies understand that. And what about the rest of you, Kronal, Andy, Vanessa? What do you guys think?
I guess I think in my opinion it's really an opportunity for companies to I guess connect more with like young people, especially those say in the physical internships. You're required to travel to attend these physical internships, but I think something as like semi remote and the fact that it's online, it really gives more young people the opportunity to I guess participate more, like say, oh okay, well it's online, then maybe I can participate in this internship compared to say a physical one where they could be hours away from the company itself. So I think the company does have an opportunity. Like I know there's a lot of like setbacks, especially with budget cuts, but it's really giving them more an opportunity to kind of like reach out and somewhat like continue branding themselves. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. I think I completely agree with that point where you say hey, a lot of times companies really want to diverse their employee base. They want to have people from different cultures and they want to have people from different countries and nations and backgrounds. But what restricts is obviously that they can't afford to have the interns there and they can't afford to bring interns from outside the country. So I think remote feature is something that can really help with that. Do you want to add anything, Andy?
I mean, it's pretty much well said with all of you guys, but like I think why should companies put attention for the semi-remote features is basically internship. I mean, it's basically it's because of the current conditions and about the trend setting. Because like in my perspective in Indonesia, there's a lot of startup going on, and then there's a lot of this kind of so startups becoming like trends with us, and then it's all about digitalized and it's all about remote work and so far and so on. I think that's a very good point for companies to actually looking forward to this, especially ones that really grounds up to actually have special like special recruits or like special activity that actually being remote to adjust with the trends, adjust with the current and also that actually can bring somewhat a customer, customer demography and so far and so on that they can actually look the potential with. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. I think I completely agree when it comes to the benefits for semi remote internships, and that's something we'll end the session with as well. So, generally, there are obviously benefits for the youth, the EPs that are going to be applying, and then there are benefits for the partners. So if we talk about youth, obviously there's a greater chance for them to have that internship because they won't really be required to travel. The visa permits won't be an issue. The border restrictions won't be an issue. Then it'll obviously also increase and enhance their remote working skills. So working from home is something that a lot of people still struggle with. And if you have an internship like this where so most of your work is done from home for the first part of your internship, you'll have more of a chance to work on those skills and then obviously engage with internationals virtually if you are applying for a different country, if you're applying for a country that you wouldn't normally have a chance to work in, you're going to be talking to a lot of internationals, you're going to be connecting with people from a lot of different diverse backgrounds. And then obviously prepare for actual physical internship is something that comes with the semi-remote feature. And in the same way, the partners have certain benefits as well. They would have remote interns to engage, they'd have virtual support for interns to manage the remote work, and then they'll facilitate the process from it being a remote internship to a physical internship as well. And then in this, we also have the early adopter profile on what sort of people what sort of youth would want to actually go for the semi-remote internship and what sort of partners would want to go for it. So, how to distinguish between who wants to go for a semi remote internship and who doesn't want to go for it is how you distinguish it from an early adopter profile. So, young people who are interested in professional internships after the end of the pandemic, that is supposed to be a target demographic. Who the people who are interested in a demo of remote intern feature with ISEC, people who are associated to ISEC or associated with understanding ISEC or working with ISEC would be a very good profile to tap. Then youth who can accept the terms and conditions of the remote interns, people who are willing to have the internship remotely and then have it physically, and then obviously youth willing to adapt with the global pandemic situation. So adaptability is something that comes with programs like this. So programs that are out a little out of the ordinary, the programs that are now being introduced as part of the new normal are programs that seek people who are adaptable and flexible. And the same thing applies to partners as well. Partners who are looking to have trainees or interns from ISEC, people who are looking to retain ISEC members or ISEC interns, people who are interested in testing out the remote internships, and obviously partners who are interested in co-managing legal compliance of how remote work works with ISEC. So these are the benefits and the early adopter profile that comes with the semi-remote internships. This is a small exercise we're going to do since we're not in groups. So what we're going to do is I will assign one feature to everyone, and then you guys will have to act out how you're going to sell the semi-remote feature to each other and get feedback on it. So we basically have three roles. So one is the company, one is the ISICer, and one is the feedback person. So since Gia and Krunal aren't here, Gia, I think, excuse herself for 5 minutes, so she's not here. The three people we have, Kylie, you guys are it. Jika, Andy, and Vanessa, you guys will be doing the exercise. You guys can choose whichever role you want. And Gia's back as well, so Gia can facilitate. So two people will be the feedback persons. One's going to be the company, and one's going to be the ISICer. So who wants to be what?
I'm I'm more flexible for feedback because I might have to attend to our partner. So yeah.
Okay. So perfect. So Jika is going to be the first feedback person. Who's going to be the second feedback person?
I'll be the second feedback person.
Okay. Andy and Gia. Andy, do you want to be the company or do you want to be the ISICer?
Company is cool.
Okay, and Gia, you're the ISICer. So what you guys need to do is, Gia,
What?
you're
I
going.
never sell this.
Gia, you're going to sell the remote feature to Andy, and Jika and Vanessa are going to give you the feedback.
Maybe we
Okay,
can
this
actually
is the
come back. Yeah, maybe we can come back to the slide that where they show the benefits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes,
So
yes,
we
yes, of course. Here you go.
pretending it to be a first meeting, right?
Yeah, you can pretend it to be the first meeting, or you can pretend it to be the pitch meeting, or anything. Just sell each other the semi-remote internship.
Semi-remote. Wow, I'm not the one who sell this.
Yes. We're just practicing for you to actually sell it to your partners.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. Let me prepare for a while.
I think Zika's right. Andy is not a scary partner. I think Andy would be very receptive to it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Hi, Andy. I'm Jai from IJ Malaysia. So may I let me allow me to actually introduce myself first. So I'm Jai from IJ Malaysia. So currently what I'm doing is actually I'm the head of National Partnership Development Department, which mainly doing employee branding and also professional internship program coordinating in Isaac in Malaysia. Yeah. So may I know like what is your role in your company? Yeah. Hi Andy.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Chai. My name is Andy. I'm from Andy's Foundation, and I'm the current. But my role is actually I'm the talent acquisitioner.
Oh, I see, I see. So what do you do mainly in your company? Like what you actually handle for? Yeah.
So I manage to coordinate I manage to coordinate any recruits that coming to our companies and then on work, especially for interns basically. Yeah, so that's basically my kind of like job desk currently. So yeah, I'm being the coordinator for the interns and new recruits, and yeah, how the development going towards the company as well.
Ah, great, 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 Andy. Means that I'm talking to the right person. Yeah. So may I know that during your like recruitment process or even like when you want to hire interns, right? Any difficulties that you face before? Yeah, in your initiative. Yeah. Maybe you can share me what kind of initiative that you have been done so far and any um like difficulties in that in doing that. Yeah.
So about internship, usually we use our LinkedIn a lot to actually open up
Mm-hmm.
for the applications, and then that's where mostly our campaign goes. And other than that, we go to some job fairs, and we have partnered with the coordinator and so far and so on. Yeah, but in terms of internship, we don't have any kind of difficulties for recruits actually, because like we always have our talent fulfilled based on our target, and it's actually very well distributed to our management.
I see, I see. Then how about the effectiveness in getting the quality talent?
um that's a pretty good questions. So several times we have some cases that for our recruits that they don't perform well, and then they don't have any they don't perform well, and they somehow not following and not going for the KPIs that given to them and so far and so on, and we have that kind of difficulties for recruits from the job fair or like from the LinkedIn. So yeah.
I see, I see. Then what kind of talent that can be the skill or the value that you are looking for in acquisition, like the youth talent that you want?
We're actually looking for we're actually for usually working for a marketing and sales. Yeah, so that's kind of field that we actually want. So, why are you asking this again?
Uh, yeah, I'm asking that other than the skill, what kind of value that you are seeking in the youth talent that you are going to recruit? Maybe as what I know, your company are very looking into the value that you bring to the customers. Maybe you are more concerned about the integrity and also the service that our employee provide to the customers as well. Yeah, what kind of value that you are looking in youth? Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of the recruiters have the same kind of expectations. Integrity, honesty, and so far and so on would actually come in the first lane. But other than that, we just don't want a bad recruits, and then we just want them to actually have this ownership for the company. That's all.
I see, I see. Cool. Yeah. So please allow me to actually explain why how Isaac do and what we doing. So currently we actually have a professional internship program abroad, which is we will connect you to the foreign talents that across the world where Isaac have the branch with. Yeah. So we will actually follow with your like you can actually open an account in our portal, and then we will actually help you to promote this and searching for the right talents for you to actually recruited in your company. And then right now we are actually focusing more on semi-remote feature where we are actually affected by the pandemics as well. So how we are going to do this is the interns will actually fulfill at least 13 weeks in the internship program, and half of the time they are actually will be doing the work in their home, which means work from home, which is semi the remote part come in. And then another part of the half of the time they will come into your company to actually execute the tasks that have been delivered from you to them as well. So usually what we are actually promoting the talents will be more in terms of IT, business management, and also certain marketing skill. So would you like to know that do you have any budget issue in terms of recruiting people? Yeah.
Yeah, for the budget, I think we usually have several budget. We usually have, allocated budget for the recruits as well. But like it's pretty depends on the consideration of the board as well. And yeah, I want to ask questions like, what does this
Yeah.
make it different with the local talent recruits, like with other recruiters, with other recruits platforms that we have in this country in Malaysia.
Ah, uh, allow me to actually clarify. Are you actually asking me what is the differences between our organization and other organization in terms of helping company to recruit people?
Yeah, pretty much like that.
Okay, okay, cool. So basically, Isa is not a recruit agency for sure, because we are actually a youth front organization that develop youth leadership. So why we are doing this professional internship is actually we want to allow the youth to have an experience in terms of leadership development through the professional internship program as well. So what we wish to bring in is through these practices, they are actually able to learn from the company, and also at the same time they are their self-discovery journey as well, their self-development as well. So this is super different from the agency. Yeah. So I would say like allow me to actually send you a deck at the maybe next week, because I think you shall know more about that from the deck itself as well. Yeah. Is
Mm,
that
yeah.
thanks, Andy. See you next meeting. Oh my god. Like
Okay, I think
okay,
you
cool.
guys did amazing. I think Andy was a little tough on. I think he was making you sweat about it, but I think you guys both did amazing. Jika and Vanessa are going to give you the official feedback for this. What do you guys have to say?
Okay, I'll just give mine super briefly. I think it was really, like a persevering kind of conversation, because um like even if Andy was giving tough questions, Jai wasn't giving up. So I mean that's really good to see, because the usual reaction for someone doing sales for the first time, they'd feel discouraged. What else? I think it would also be good if Jai made it more conversational than more of a pitch, in the sense that, okay, how can we best help you, or how are things going on in your company, because it felt somewhat still Isaac to an extent, if that makes sense. But anyway, I really appreciated the perseverance, because you have to really maximize each touch point you have with the partner. So, I Sumi. Anyway, that's it.
Hi, Sumi. Okay. And Vanessa, what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, well, first of all, you guys did amazing. So well done for that. Although it was practice, it sounded really, really good. Overall, the structure was really it was accurate. Like you guys did cover everything. I like how for Jai, that you introduced yourself, and the fact you asked Andy a lot of questions. It was really good because it's not just about selling the product, but it's actually getting to know the company and their own pains. So asking as much questions as possible is actually really, really good, especially just to understand, where they're coming from and how you can set the values of your product for that company. I noticed it was a little bit like, it was kind of taking a little bit longer to, introduce the product. So like it's not a big issue, but it's just sometimes going straight into the point just stays relevant, because I noticed Andy was asking like, oh, well, what is this again? So yeah, that's just something to be aware of. And yeah, I like how, not only you were selling the product, but you're also saying like, why our products could be a good solution for the company. So overall, it was great. So well done.
Yes. Okay. I agree with both Jika and Vanessa. I think you guys both did amazing. Andy was very, very perceptive. He was actually acting like a company that I recently had a meeting with. They were asking me so many questions at one point. I was like, I'm done with this meeting. I don't want to be part of it. But I think Jai did amazing. She persevered through everything and she answered all of the questions. So with that, we end this session. Thank you so much for joining in, you guys. Today, both of the sessions today were really nice. And I liked that we had a really nice conversation throughout all of it. This was my last session on the BD track. So thank you so much for listening to me for so long and for putting up with me. If after this, you're only going to be seeing Andy and probably Victory as well. So yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.